What is going on, everybody? This is the new Numenera Into the Night book. This is actually part of a Kickstarter. In case you had not known, Numenera did a magnificent Kickstarter about 3 weeks ago, and this is one of the core 3 products which is part of that Kickstarter, which is the first one, Into the Night. This goes into everything in space around the 9th world, which is Numenera's main planet. And there's going to be 2 other supplements down the line, which is going to be Into the Deep, which is going to be into the oceans of the 9th world, and also Into the Outside, which is going to take a look at all of the other planes. So it was actually a rather pricey Kickstarter at $150, which you got everything in print, everything also in e-format. But I'll tell you what, it was only a $20,000 goal that they set, but it did almost $500,000. So there were so many. I think there were a total of 28 or 30 goals or stretch goals that made, and there was a second bestiary as one of the goals, and then an extension on top of that to take the bestiary to 200 pages, and that was met within like the final couple minutes of the Kickstarter. There's also like a character options 2 book. There are 2 hardback graphic novels. Many other supplements, PDFs, another 100 card deck for ciphers, how to create ciphers on the fly. So many great products that are in this $150 Kickstarter. I'll tell you what, I'm really impressed with what Numenera has done. Monte Cook Games, I really, honestly, I don't even really consider them a small game company anymore. I really think that they're starting to come to the forefront because they have their act together. I mean, they really do. I mean, this is just 3 weeks ago that or 2 or 3 weeks ago that I bought into this Numenera Kickstarter, and they've already been releasing the products as scheduled. So, I mean, it's amazing. I also bought into the Numenera box set, which was the beautiful Reliquary box set, probably the best MMO box set of all time. Not MMO, but the best. I was playing Lord of the Rings online this morning, so it was probably the best tabletop box set that I've ever seen, and I've been playing games since 1984. So Monte Cook Games, Numenera, doing a bang-up job with this Numenera product. I mean, it's just gorgeous, guys. I mean, it really is. And Numenera, if you haven't really taken a look at it yet, I kind of envision this as a sci-fi game, but with a splash of fantasy. And I really like what I've read. We have not really played that yet in the stream. We will be probably towards the beginning of the year. We're going to kick out a Numenera campaign and have a good time with it. So the first book, Into the Night, here is everything that has to deal with the space and the reaches of space around Earth, around the around the 9th world. Now, a couple things. There's some Kickstarter goals that actually, I don't want to say improve the book. The book was going to be great to begin with, but there was a Kickstarter goal that actually gave a map, a very huge double-sided 8-panel map. I mean, this thing is just massive. I'm not sure, honestly, folks, if this is going to be part of the actual product when it goes on sale for resale. But it's beautiful, and it's basically an 8-panel map of the front inside cover and also of the rear inside panel. So the double-sided map, this, and also of the galaxy around the sun. Really nice. Very beautiful detail, and I'm also going to show you guys this in a digital format as well. But I just want to show you the book to show you the quality of the book. It's 160 pages, and it is a hardback, of course. And just like every other Numenera book, it has all of the the notes in the side referring to what page you'd like to go to, and it's just jam-packed full of beautiful art and I really, really, really like it. You know, the book is broken into 4 sections, but the quality of the book, I mean, is just top notch, just like every other, you know, Numenera product. All of the Numenera stuff that I have is beautiful. I haven't had haven't had any fall apart like other games and whatnot. Beautiful books. So it'll have a $40 retail price. So there you go. That is the physical book, and we're going to switch over to the digital view. I like to do the digital views as well. I think it actually allows the viewer to see more things in detail than what you would from an HD camera. So this is the PDF that you get. You can, another good thing with Monte Cook Games is they give you the option to buy. They're a company that is not scared of PDFs, and there are some companies out there that are just absolutely terrified of PDFs, and it's good that Monte Cook Games is not, because there is a very, very, very large digital audience out there that plays tabletop games online, and we love to buy PDFs. So this is actually part of the Kickstarter deal, and you can see the art is just amazing. Anything with Numenera is just, from what I've seen so far, like I said, guys, I have not played the game yet, but I have read quite a bit about it, and I know quite a bit about the game, and everything that I've read and seen is just beautiful. So here's the table of contents. It's broken up pretty much into 4 main parts with an introduction, which basically talks about incorporating Into the Night into your game. Telling you to use the monsters in this book. There are plenty of creatures, which we'll take a look at. Almost 20 pages or so of new creatures. Plus, even though it says not to use those monsters, you can always use your judgment. If there's something on in the old bestiary or in the old, not the old, but in the core rulebook, if you want to incorporate that stuff, feel free to do so. But it does recommend staying within the confines of this book. So, but 3 major parts that talk about the areas and the locations of within Earth's Graps, which is part 1, 3 really unique places. Then it talks about around the sun, and the other for part 2, not within reach of Earth, but traveling is going to be required. It's pretty much within a safe distance. There's 4 more massive areas, and then falling into Affinity, which is the last part. It goes into deep space and actually beyond, and then towards the end of actually that last chapter, it talks about 6 or 8 more planets that are falling into the Affinity, but not with huge sections, but it does touch on them. And then, like I said, the last section has the creature. So let's take a look. Now the PDF is the same type of format within all of the other Monte Cook Games stuff and all of the other Numenera stuff. It has all of the symbols that you're going to refer to. It has all of the, what I really like about Numenera is that there are little footnotes on the side, and it tells you where to go for something. It'll kind of highlight it or italicize it, and then it'll say, hey, check out this at page 34. And it's really good, especially in the rule book. And this is part 1, where it basically talks about, the creatures, all kinds of different hook points, and then it goes into the Nightcraft, which is the Nightcraft, and there's also a special PDF that you can get. I think it's about $2 or $3, and it basically has everything about the Nightcraft in this book, but it also has some larger blown up maps like of the Nightcraft here that you can get in that PDF, and I think it's $2.99, but if you were part of the Kickstarter, you automatically got that for free. And then it talks about the layout of the Nightcraft, goes into detail for every single thing about the ship, which is really nice. And another great thing about what I like about this introduction is it has the anomalies, and then it also has some stuff for ship combat, which the core book really doesn't go to, of course, because they never introduce Into the Night. But as you can see here, here is combat between vessels. Really nice read up here. Definitely check it out if you want to incorporate ship battle. So here's part one. This is basically within Earth's reach, basically grasp of Earth. Branu's Kiss is a sort of like a giant bubble of water, or a giant droplet of water is what they describe, and it seems really nice. So it's interesting to see this as part of Into the Night instead of Into the Deep. And you're going to notice also all throughout this whole entire book, it's going to have artifacts, and it's going to have new ciphers as well. So, I mean, there is just so much information, and it talks about, like the flora, the fauna, all of the basic necessities that you need to describe this world to your players, or describe Branu's Kiss to your players. It's really nice. And as you can see, in the the side, I call them side headers, that you can see that there's all kinds of information that refers to other locations of the book, which is really nice. Then there's the creatures and whatnot, the art. The art is just magnificent. So this is pretty much everything in the first section. As you can see, all kinds of new ciphers and whatnot, one-use items, artifacts, or more of a permanent type of item. Then there's also these other tables that are really nice and interesting, which are like hearsay. So it would be something equivalent to, like, if you're used to D&D, or street knowledge, or streetwise information that you would learn about about this area. I mean, it's really nice about Branu's Kiss, or and this actually has all kinds of hook points towards the beginning of the chapter for chapter 1. Here's chapter 2, Colorum, which is it's sort of like a dead ship. This and what I've read about Colorum so far, it reminds me of the show Defiance. Where the Olmecs were in space, basically just circling the Earth, waiting to, and basically it's like a whole group of people that have been basically, they're inside of this jaggedy spike ship, and it seems like they've all been frozen, sort of like in containers and coffins and whatnot. So pretty nice. I like that. And then it has all kinds of ways that you can use Colorum in your adventures. All of the information. This is what they look like. Here's all the information, the hearsay, and remember the hearsay was in the last chapter. Here's all kinds of Colorum ciphers. Then it goes into the moon, and it follows the same format, which is really important to me as a game master or dungeon master, because I love to have the same bit of information on every single area, especially in a gazetteer like this, a gazetteer type of book. It's really important, and I really like that. Here's how to use the moon. This isn't your the moon that we see it now. It's definitely a lot different than what it is present day. Really nice. All kinds of artifacts, again, ciphers, creatures, beautiful art. Here's the hearsay, and then it just goes on to, and then it expands out into space. From it goes from around the orbit of the Earth to more of a deeper space, and these are all Naharai, Urvanus, the Wreck of the Vlaren, and the Phaeton Halo. The Halo is really interesting. The Halo is sort of like it's like a ring of debris of something that had exploded. I really enjoyed reading up on that. And you can see it's following the same format. All of these chapters with the Naharai, all of the hearsay, the ciphers, the artifacts, all of that good stuff. And then it talks about the flora and fauna and all these different planets. Different. Here's the using Urvanus in your campaign, like you've seen in every other chapter so far. Very consistent. That's what I really like about the books about with Monte Cook. I mean, it's just really nice to have all of this information at your fingertips. Here's the Wreck of Vlaren, an old ship that was that is now in ruin. All kinds of hook points using it, ciphers. Here's a map, really nice. Artifacts, ciphers, the hearsay. Then it goes on to, there's the Phaeton Halo. This is really interesting to read about, using it. ciphers, artifacts. And here's some Halo locations. So inside of this maps place, here's actually something that you could use as a chart to basically build your own map. Really nice. They took care of that to eliminate some prep time for you. And then here's some artifacts. Actually, a couple rather nice looking artifacts. The artifacts are more than one-use items. The ciphers are one-use items. Here's the menagerie exhibits, all kinds of charts for this kind of stuff as well inside. Very nice. And then here's Falling into Infinity, which is more of deep space, of what we would see, planets like Pluto and whatnot. And it says here's Paralon, flora and fauna. You can see there's art just about on every page. I mean, not on every single page. And that's actually kind of good, because you can kind of think of art as sort of like a space taker, but I mean, you can really never have too much art, but there is a point to where there can be too much, and it's really, I think it's done really nicely in Numenera. Really not a whole lot of full page art from what I've noticed, except for like the cover stuff. And you can see all throughout the book, I mean, there are just tons of artifacts, ciphers, beautiful art. And you could take this, you could take all of this art out, make it files, and use it in your game. I mean, you can use it for any kind of game that you want to use it for. Really nice. Here's the gloaming. Interesting world. See a map. This is like a more inhabitable type of planet. One of the few that's in the book. Then it has all kinds of hearsay. And here's the other worlds that I was talking about: Ferundial, Garanthal, the Haunted Cloud. And they're pretty much one pages. One-pagers, I guess you'd call them one-page worlds. It's where it basically just tells you the basics of all of these. And then if you want to take your players to these, you can. And I'm sure they'll probably expand on these later in the future. And then here's the final part that has all of the creatures, and then it has it by level as well, which is really nice. And then there's pretty much art. I think there's art for every creature. I think there was one creature that didn't have art. In fact, I think it could be, it's coming up. Nope, it has art too. So there's the different sorgs and whatnot. Pretty nice. Monsters are really nicely set up, and everything has static damage and initiatives already taken care of. That's what I like. Really, alleviates any rolling. The game master really doesn't have to roll anything. The players roll attacks and then their defense checks to see if the creatures hit, which is really nice. So that that enables to using the cipher system, what Monte Cook Games calls us. It allows the game master to really focus on picking the correct DCs and whatnot, and not having to rush and roll a bunch of die, roll the hits, and then roll the damage and roll checks, and it's basically everything is up to the player, which is really nice. So there you go, everybody. Here is Numenera Into the Night. This is the first of the 3 core books that are coming out for the last Kickstarter that Monte Cook's game put out that generated $500,000. Crazy. The Numenera is definitely growing. I think more and more players are playing it and getting into it. And hey, check it out, Monte Cook Games. A lot of great products. They have a lot of free PDF downloads as well. And I hope you guys liked it. Please feel free to leave a comment down below. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. And until next time, I'll see you later.